Hey guys, it's Shane here from Tank Hunter Miniatures, and today I'm going to be going over the tournament I just went to. So this was another 1500 point one, and I'm bringing just the Sisters of Battle Tanks. So this was a really interesting one, mostly due to lack of variety. Sisters have, well, they have enough to fill out like a whole roster. You can make this list. Sort of only just, like I said, this was 1500 points and I filled out, I couldn't really take any more, so, you know, be that as it may. So let's just go over the list. So we're looking here, starting just with the character tax. So I've got, the Dialogists, the Missionaries, because there's 30 points. That's the other good thing about this, because you can take more of the Immolators, and just, put the 30-point tax. I did have the extra points to bring a Palatine, and that was good, because that gave one of the tanks the ability to scout up, taking her ability. So I guess I could have, if you played a larger point games, you could just bring Palatines for a few of them, and move them all, do the scout move for all of them, and that'd be interesting. So then we have, of course, the 4 Immolators. I went Flamers for 3 of them, and I went the Multi-Melter for 1 of them, just so it could take out some larger sort of stuff. And then of course we have the Castigators and the Exorcist. Now the Exorcist and Castigators both had their heavier weapon options. So the Battle Cannon and the Exorcist, not the Conflagrator one. Because it's not something like we're not suffering from having a loss of things that are gonna take out infantry. Like the Flamers did insanely good clearing out chaff, but the problem came to anything tougher than Strength 10, because the Exorcist and the Castigator Battle Cannon, Strength 10. And that just not anti-tank. It's anti, sort of medium, toughness 9 things, which you'll see works really good, especially the Castigators with their rerolls against things with vehicles. So the smaller vehicles, Castigators completely, obliterate them. And Exorcists are alright, but they're so swing. It's a very swing tank, because I had rolls in it where, I just couldn't wound with one of them, and the other times when I rolled really well and wounded, I destroyed something really well. So it's unreliable. It's crazy. So let's just go into the games. So looking at the first game, we had the Sisters versus a Knight list, mostly Armiger spam, with some characters and allies just to drop objectives and such. So this was what I knew was going to be the hard counter to my list. Because they're not exactly weak, because all the tanks are toughness 10, and 3-up armor save. It'd be nice if something could have a 2-up, but whatever. But when it comes to fighting the Knights with their strength, because he had Hecator Rex and just a lot of Armigers, and they're just too tough. Like, it's just, when you've got a big cannon that can only wound on 5s against all this stuff, it just really hurts. So, as you can see, the battlefield, we had a lot of good line of sight blocking terrain that could take advantage of that, but not that it helped that much in this case. We had to drop the objectives in this one. I thought, alright, this is going to be a good use of the Immolators with the Flamers, because they're not going to be able to do much, so I can use them to take advantage of getting the points for the objective. So first turn, you see that we sort of moved up, sort of started taking some ground. I sort of spread out a bit. He got a couple of good shots off on me, but I managed to survive a bit. But then by the second turn, he's moved up the board. That Armiger with the Melter, I could not hurt that. I had a whole Melter tank, just fire nothing into him. He couldn't fail his saves, and just the Melter barely scratched it. So that's the trouble with Melters that we're seeing. It's anti-armor, but it's not anti-large. It's just a trouble. So Hecator Rex was able to move up, this time taking out a Castigator by himself, and he's on the warpath. And again, I tried shooting everything, but his ability to rotate his ion shields with his free stratagem, his ability to just increase his strength and toughness and save, that was tough. So I'm firing everything. The castigators with the, and they rerolling hits against him, and they still couldn't take him out. Every exorcist went into him. By the end of the third turn, you can see he's straight into my lines. He's wrecked through all the tanks by himself. I got him down to 2 wounds by the end of the game, but it was like, no, I had nothing left. The Armigers had managed to rip through the other emmulators, and I just had nothing left. So it's pretty much what we expected. Like, it's too heavy. It's too heavy of a list. And I had a heavy list, but yeah. If it had been, if I was doing the Eldar one, I wouldn't have been, like, we did this last time when we had Eldar versus a very similar list. And Eldar did fine. They didn't have any problems taking out this list. Even Space Marines, if I had some, the 3 Vindicators, that could have done it. A bunch of las cannons, yeah, that would have been helpful. I could have taken out some of the Armigers and then tried to avoid Hector and just drove away from him. So yeah, this was a hard counter to the Sisters battle tanks and their limitations. So yeah, turn 1, that was a loss, and yeah, like we expected. So moving on to game number 2, you can see my opponent brought his Word Bearers. Now, this was a list that was very much hard countered by my list. Because he's brought his Mauler Fiends, a lot of Hellbrutes, it's basically a Dreadnought stack coming in. Now, this is what, Sisters are really good at, because everything's, toughness 10 or lower. So I'm taking full advantage of my ability to really take out vehicles, and everything I'm wounding is, actually woundable this time. So, yeah, turn layout, he only had a bunch of his cultists to sort of take the ground and such. So by the end of turn 1, he rushed everything up, as you would. The Mauler Fiends actually got into charge. They did really well. But as soon as it got to my turn, I was able to just unload on everything and clear out everything he moved up. So that was, we sort of saw how things were going to go by then. His Lord Discordant ran to the board edge to investigate signals. He managed to take out one of the Emolulator Flamers that I had there to just sort of get the cap as well, but he put himself in a spot where he could be taken out by the Melter Emolulator, which managed to finish him off. And yeah, by the end of this one, it was pretty clear who the victor was going to be. He just had cultists left that was just hiding in the backfield. So this was a pretty clear win for the Sisters. Again, because this was all anti-armor that was not too tough. I think the Sisters in my last game, they would have done better if the Exorcist missile launchers could be a little higher strength. I think that's what we're going to see. But yeah, like I said, this was a really thorough, just straight up win. So my final game for the day was against Eldar. Now this was a Harlequin mostly list with some Wraith constructs, Avatar of Cain, a couple of bikes. It had a lot of different stuff in it, so that was good. Like I said, mostly all the infantry was just Harlequins. So this as well went pretty heavy in my favor. So yeah, as you can see, he's managed to move up the board. I forgot to get a picture pre-game. This is after his first turn movement phase. So he's moved up because we had to, the middle objectives was going to be the most points at the end of the game. So that was sort of your focus this game. You put the Harlequins on the point, but I was going to say that's probably not a good idea because they can't really defend themselves, but I guess what else are you going to do? So yeah, they went in for the early, let's run in and grab everything, but that just set them up to be completely flamed. So it felt very much in the Dawn of War 2 opening video with the Dreadnought, I've come to destroy you, and then just melt face with the flamers. So as he's moved everything up, the Avatar of Cain, of course, is getting buffed. So I knew I was going to have a trouble with the Avatar of Cain as well. He's, with the -1 to be wound, and he's halving the damage. I knew that was going to be something difficult, so of course, you do what you always do, just ignore him. He's going to take out one of my tanks every turn, but I can just ignore him, just feed him, and he'll go away. So by the second turn, yeah, I moved everything up. I melted all the Harlequins. The Rangers are trying to take some shots off, but I was able to sort of withstand them. We put all the Hunter Killer missiles into the Wraith Knight guy, and yeah, he went down eventually. He took some time, but we had enough. Heavy Bolters managed to get rid of all the bikes, all the other stuff at range. That was good. Yeah, and like I said, I just threw out an emulator, so the Avatar of Cain had something to focus on. And yeah, the battle cannons did really well against everything else. So by the end of the second turn, we managed to pretty much focus fire down the Avatar, get him off the ground, pretty much get off everything. So all he had left was the Rangers, and he was dropping in some of the Wraith constructs. I forget their names, the ones with the axes. So they were going to come down and just try and hold. But at that point, I had still had enough left. So the Exorcists were able to just destroy all the Wraith constructs that dropped down and charged into the tanks. And all that was left was the Seer that was attached to them. I know it's not the right model here, but that's just what it was proxying as. And then finally, for fun, as the caveat to finishing off the army entirely, we rolled in for tank shock, and the Shadow Seer was just rolled over with mortal wounds by the Exorcist tank. Just crushed it, just squish. So that was a fun end to the game. So there was I think 12 tables, so that's 24 players. So I came in 4th spot out of that number. So that was a pretty good result. Wasn't in the top 3, but I imagine that. Yeah. So overall, they did a lot better than I expected. I thought maybe I'd get 1 win. I didn't think I'd get 2. And especially the 2 wins I got, I didn't think would be so just overwhelming, considering the absolute overwhelming loss I had in the first game. So, I mean, but that's what you're seeing with the Sisters Army. It's very swingy. Even the first game, I couldn't get any miracle dice above a 3 or a 4. That's all I can get the entire game. And that was with all the losses I took. I just couldn't get anything good. The last 2 games I got, especially the last one, I got nothing but 5s and 6s for a miracle dice. I didn't even need them at that point. So the miracle dice were just used. I just used the 6s to make invuln saves versus the Bright Lance, and that really helped. But yeah, you need to roll the 6s, which I just couldn't do for the other games. Maybe if I did, I would have done better. But yeah, as you can see, the Sisters, yeah, they're good. Like any tank army. So I wouldn't really recommend, if you're going to bring just a tank army, just bring Sisters. It's good, but it can't handle everything. It just has too many fallbacks. And you're very much relying on luck a lot of the time. But still, like I said, I enjoyed it. It was nice bringing this to this whole tournament scene this whole year. No one's brought Sisters, so people were happy to see them fight something different. So yeah, we had a really good day of this. Yeah, that's all. Sisters, good, but not great. So next tournament is going to be the last one for the year. So I'm looking forward to that. I've got to figure out what I want to bring. It's an invitational only, so I got into that one. So it's going to be for some big prizes up for grabs. So I might try really hard this time to get a victory. So yeah, I got to figure out what's going to be best. But yeah, we'll work it out. But that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.